Stressed with you.
What's up, boys and girls? Hope everyone's feeling fine, feeling fresh. This is two true freaky stories from Russia with Friend or Foe, Volume 2. I think we know at this point they're not a friend, but we can always hope. So there's that. I would prefer a taser myself because they look fun. No? Because from what I'm picking up from these stories, the general sense is that it's not a safe world out there. A lot of dicks. So you mind yourself now. Bright side, sometimes you end up with a sketchy story. Okay, not really bright up, but kind of a faint low side. But cautionary tale, maybe a freaky story, maybe you're the hero. Whatever, you get me. You get me. Anyway, it's time to start. Story number 1. Russian mucker needs to call his friend. By Reddit user, It's a Hedgehog. Okay, so firstly, I'm a 17-year-old female, living in Europe. This happened to me recently, and I felt like I needed to just write it down and tell it to someone else. Me and my boyfriend Carl, we decided that it would just be a nice idea to take a walk around and hang out with our friend Dave. It was already dark as it was winter and it started getting darker around 7 PM. We weren't expecting anything to happen. We just went to the shop and Dave bought some cola and crisps for us and a pack of juice for his sister.
Alright, Dave?
Alright, Dave. Yo. Dave said we could hang around at this cool new spot he knew of. It turned out to be pretty dodgy. We did throw some jokes around about how dodgy and small the unlit area looked, but decided to stay for a few moments and eat our crisps we had, since the apartment building was like literally just next to us. Fast forward about 5 minutes, so some weird Russian guys just show up and ask us,
Why, you're just sitting there.
You should know me and Dave are pretty socially awkward, so Carl did speak in. He explained that we were just here eating crisps. One of the guys asked if he could have our beer, to which we explained that it was just cola. Carl asked if they wanted us to leave, but the guy said we were free to stay. They proceeded to ask where we were from, to which my boyfriend replied that we lived nearby, which in reality is like a 20-minute walk, and where I lived was not really considered nearby. The guys asked us some of the same questions with a strong Russian accent, and soon enough they went away. Finally, jeez. We started having a joke about how weird and creepy that was. Thought about maybe moving somewhere else. Smart. A minute or so later, one of the guys was back. Oh, God. Oh shit, son. The other guy stayed a few meters behind him. Now he was asking for a phone. Supposedly he'd called a friend so that he could get home. He was just trying to say that he's not from around here and they both need a ride home and his phone is dead. My boyfriend said that he couldn't make outgoing calls on his phone, and Dave said the same. I'm a pretty absent-minded person, and I just said that I don't have a phone with me at the moment, sorry. The guy continued, and just tried to get our phone. A few red flags popping up, and Carl understood the guy was just trying to take our phones, not borrow. He did indeed look like the type that would jack you in a heartbeat. After Carl repeated several times that
You can't make calls.
the guy started to look pretty irritated. Iggy?
Just give me the phone. I can put SIM card in. I just need to make this phone call.
Carl just replied with,
I don't really like giving my phone to strangers, dude.
Well, you give me phone, or shall I take it from you?
was the next aggressive question. My boyfriend didn't want any problems and he just started to back away and explained that he really don't want no hassle. At this point, the guy started speaking fully in Russian, which I understand very poorly. I couldn't really translate what he was saying, but he was being pretty aggressive. I mean, I assume. Russian, who knows? And he started walking towards Carl. Oh fuck. At that point, he reached into his jacket and pulled something out. Fuck is that? Fuck. But it was too dark to see what it was. According to Carl, it was something pen-like. The guy backed Carl into the road and tried to get Carl to the ground with a hit to the leg. Managed to avoid it and keep his stance. Yeah, boy. Dave and I were backing the truck up too. The other dude seemed to watch from a distance, probably in case this guy needed help or something, I guess. At this point, the attacker was full out aggressive, to the point where my boyfriend pulled out a knife, thankfully, that he always carried around, and yelled,
Dude, I will knife you back the fuck off.
This seemed to scare him, and he did in fact back off. This was an opening for me and Dave to run towards Carl, as they moved back, allowing some distance. We took our chance and started sprinting away as fast as we could run. Before we did, however, the guy tried taunting my boyfriend. What the? Yelling something like,
Come, with your knife. Come here to your friends.
while he was moving closer to the other guy. Me and Carl ran off to a nearby shop, and at some point, Dave vanished. Somewhere.
Dave?
Only for us to find out that he had sprinted back to his home to go and grab a fucking pipe in case he needed to beat the shit out of those two guys. But I'm just glad we got away safe. Nothing too sketchy happened. I don't know what would have gone down if my boyfriend didn't have his knife. So what makes this a little bit more creepy, things like this don't really occur that often around where I live. And if they do, there isn't normally some creepy fuck staying a few meters back just to watch and do nothing. I haven't noped out of some place as fast as that in some time. So random Russian muggers, let's never meet again. Yeah, so I was watching some other YouTuber stories and I heard one that just reminded me of this incident. This wasn't much scary, it's just fucking weird. And yeah. Okay, so it starts off like this. She said, I had a dream. And I was like, I swear that sounds familiar. But anyway, she said she dreamt she came into my room, stood by the radiator for a few seconds, and then went to sit down. And I was like, wait, what? Hold up, wait. Shit, Mum, you're not even gonna believe. Don't listen to my story before you even finish yours, because it's gonna freak you out. I had a dream that, for some reason, you came in my room, stood there for a few seconds, sat down in front of the radiator. The weird bit was, I don't even remember going to sleep, or waking up. I just remember looking at the radiator in the dark, apart from a little light that was coming from the hallway. Then my mum just walks in. And so there I am, confused as fuck. I didn't say nothing at first, and then I asked Mum, why are you in my room? And she replied, I don't know. So after a few seconds I sat there and I was like, get out. And she was just like, okay. And got up and left. And I didn't even remember the whole thing until she started saying about it. She was like, what the fuck? I honestly thought that was a dream. That's really weird. I know, right? Same. I think it's safe to say it wasn't a dream. But why did she come in my room? Of course she had no idea why she was in my room. She couldn't remember nothing. And why was I already looking at the radiator? And I don't mean I just woke up. It was kind of like being blind drunk and then staying awake until suddenly sobering up and not being able to remember a fucking thing you did at that moment of sobriety. And the accompanying feeling, what the fuck did I do last night? It was like fucking sudden awareness, like sat up with my eyes open, but my brain was switched off, and then consciousness. That's what made me think it was a dream. It just felt so weird, but it did happen. None of it made sense. Mum coming into my room in the first place, our interaction, but the fact that I was suddenly aware and then sat up staring at that space, and then a few minutes later, Mum comes in. What the fuck? Just odd. And again, like, what? It was kind of similar to what the other kid was talking about. Another fucking weird thing happened the other day where, like, basically, for some reason, I inexplicably passed out. Didn't know what happened. I was watching my laptop, and boom. And then I just woke up suddenly, but I was like, I don't know, gesturing towards something, and the cat was on my lap. I was a bit disorientated. But when I spoke to my mum the next day, she said she could have swore I was in bed next to her. Like, she could, like, almost feel me there. Until she turned around, and I was gone. Maybe I was. And now it's time for story number 2. Creepy Russian guy tries to attack me, and then runs away after I lick his hand. By Reddit user, Eva like Ava. This happened to me when I was probably around 14 years old. I'm from Germany, and at the time I was living in a small German town with approximately 6,000 residents. I had a boyfriend who lived in the same city as my school, so often I would visit him right after school, and in the evenings I would return home, which was about 15 minutes train ride away. It was one of those nights when I was on my way home after an afternoon spent at my boyfriend's parents' house. Because it was the end of summer, the sun would go down relatively late in the day, and it was still broad daylight outside when I got on the train at 7:45 that went from the city to my town. When the train rolled into my hometown station, however, the sun had started to set, and the light was pretty rapidly disappearing. Lucky for me, my house was only a 10-minute walk away from the train station, and it wouldn't be the first time I've had to walk home alone at dawn. I was the only person about, obviously because everybody was at home watching the 8 o'clock news. After walking for a little while, I heard another person walking behind me, relatively far away from me. It was this tall, lanky guy dressed all in black, just casually strolling, seemingly coming out of nowhere. That's not fucking creepy at all, mate. I got this weird feeling in my gut right away. Even though he didn't look particularly like he was following me or anything at first, I just tried to brush the uneasy feeling aside and tried looking extra casual. But then I remembered, I'd learned somewhere to cross the street if you want to see if someone's following you. I crossed the street while trying to look as nonchalant as possible. He crossed it too, and walked back to the other side of the street I'd originally been on. He followed my example. So yeah, this guy was definitely following me. He was getting closer to me, but not dangerously close. I remember thinking that stupid street crossing trick I had learned was absolutely useless because all that changed is now I knew for sure I was being followed, and probably the creeper knew that I knew too. Luckily, by the time I had finished that fort, I had reached the bottom of the hill we lived on, so now I only had to get up a hill in a small walk's distance until I could walk onto my driveway and that had those lovely motion sensor floodlights. The lanky tall guy was still following me at a steady pace when I made it to the top of the hill. Now I could see my house. I knew I'd be safe in a few minutes. I started walking faster and I turned into my driveway. Our lights turned on and I was about to open the gate to walk into my front door when all of a sudden, oh my god, this guy is right behind me. In a split second, he grabs me by my left upper arm and puts his hand around my wide open mouth. Fuck, no, get off me, get off, let go, fuck. His hand presses down on my jaw, hard. He now tries to take my backpack off my shoulders. He starts to rip my jacket off to push me down to the ground. He starts to mumble breathy Russian words. For a few moments, I was completely shocked, just unable to move. I keep thinking, this is it. He will rape me, right here, and then human traffic me to Russia. Thankfully, finally, my adrenaline kicked in, and I tried to actually fight this guy off. He's still trying to push me down, but all my leg presses at the gym had paid off, and I managed to push him back enough so that he couldn't get me down. I tried to bite him, but he was pressing down on my jaw so hard with his hand that I couldn't move my mouth, so I licked his hand. I just slobbered all over the palm of it, and it worked. He just lets me go, backs off me. I turn around and look him straight in the face, and start yelling, "Du Arschloch, you arsehole." He turns around and runs away from me. One of the scariest moments of my life. I was so shaken that I couldn't even find my key. I had to ring the doorbell, and I couldn't even tell my mum what had happened because I was sobbing so hard. Plus my jaw hurt pretty bad. We called the police, and they tell us come the next day to make a statement. Apparently this dude was pretty known in our area for just creepily walking around and following people. Wait, what? But I was the first girl he'd actually attacked. Okay, flattered. Infuriatingly, nothing happened to him. They just told me to call them if it ever happened again. I carry pepper spray with me ever since that incident. And may or may not have been quite overzealous with using it on suspicious people. I saw that Russian guy again one more time when I was walking home from a friend's house one afternoon, and I ran the other way as fast as I could until I found a nice family out for that afternoon walk to escort me home. Only now, all these years later, it's clear to me how fucked up this situation really was. I can't believe the police were just so relaxed about it, jokers, and that my mum ever let me out of her sight again. So, rapey Russian guy, let's never meet again. Well, I hope you enjoyed the stories. That's it for this one, and my next video, audio-wise, should be a lot better as my new mic came and it works, so yay, second time is the charm. Well, normally third's the charm, but second's kind of nice, I guess. It should be a lot louder and clearer than my last mic, as it was a mini mic, so it did pretty well, I think. Blessed. Officially retiring my first mic, the original. So many awesome memories of taking it out and talking into it and recording stories, and wow, that was it really. But yeah, good times. The next video should hopefully be about some alien or weird encounters, stuff like that. So it should be good. If you believe in that sort of thing, let me know. Anyway, big thanks to everyone for listening, liking, commenting, sharing and subbing. Much appreciated as always. And big thanks to the Redditors for letting me tell their stories. I hope you enjoyed them as I enjoyed making them. Stay awesome, stay safe, and until next time, later y'all.
До свидания.
/Tuesdays. And always remember, if trouble comes your way, just try to make yourself look big. Hee hee.